Hey, there you are. All right. Welcome to On Track Tuesday, October 26th. So, a little bit late here. Hey, Wilmer. I got Heath, Robert, Jerry, hello. Jim Tedesco, hello. MSI Hunter, Missile Hunter. All right. Ray Eltham, Ken Amos, Joe Rader. How's it going, everybody? John, Scully Kill. Randy Fernandez, Hibbley Railroad, how are you guys? Good to see you in here. I think I got everybody. Gotta run back diesel, man. A lot of guys in here ahead of me. I think just 7 o'clock, right? Maybe a little behind us. It's 7 o'clock now. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Liv McCurdy, Wigwag Workshop, how are you? Chris, Tennessee River, River Union. Make sure this stuff's working. All right. There. Actually, Rick Bailey, I actually had a question for you, bud. I've been on the phone. Part of the reason why I kind of felt like I was running late was on the phone with Jason, the train freak. I've been trying to work on over in my area with the co-op, getting my Switch 8 together with the button board, and I got this kind of long, so I'm not sure where I'm mounting it, but I got basically not really a momentary toggle, but it's I think a single full double throw that you have to use with the button boards. I don't know. Jason told me what to get. I think he went off of you there, Rick Bailey. Question I'm having, or he wanted me to actually reach out to you because you had sent him some type of a power plug for the Switch 8. It has a plug-in, and on the ends of it, it has two prongs, so I could run this to my accessory bus line. I'm not going to run it off of track power. I'm going to run it off the accessory bus. So he wanted me to reach out to you because he didn't know what they were called. He showed me them, but he didn't know what they were called, and there was no name on them. So if anybody knows what that would be, I'd appreciate that. Oh boy, there's trouble. Sorry, guys. We bring trouble up.
Hey guys, how are we?
What's going on, Artie?
What he's up to?
Nothing. I've been working on this Dragon Lover 68. What's in here? Mark, try again later. Connie is in here apparently. Hi, somebody said hi, Connie. Sorry, I'm just kind of still saying. Rick said, okay, cool. Appreciate that, Rick.
What were you after?
They are, I don't know the name of them, but it basically has a, plug-in for like this. This is for the Switch 8.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess it plugs into the, like a power supply plug, but on one end, and then the other end it has two prongs. You could plug in just bare wire. I want to run that off my accessory bus. instead of actually running a plug all the way to the wall or all the way back to my my power strip. So
I've got one here somewhere. Got a cut off from my I haven't got I haven't got a hold of it, but I'll get those little I'll show you. If I find
Mark
it.
Arnold,
Here somewhere.
Crazy
No.
Mountain, how are you? The 2.1 milliliter barrel
No,
connector.
no, pack it away.
Gotta write that down when I see it. Hang on.
I've actually cut the
Thanks,
you
Keith.
know, those little
But
wall
I still
socket
take
plugs,
that.
those wall socket plugs. I just cut the tip off it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
That's
know if I have
working.
one that'll fit, but I'm gonna write that down. He said 2.1 millimeter barrel connector.
But I've been having fun this. I've been having fun this week too. Doing a little.
Cool. I'll still take that
Switchboard.
link, Rick, if you got it. What's that, Arnie? Sorry, man.
No, you're right. I've been having some fun this week too. I've been doing a little switchboard for my new section.
Yeah.
For the series that I'm doing on Back to Basics. And I bought these resistors from my local electronics shop. We're supposed to be
Hey, Anthony.
360k, and went to put them on my LEDs. One LED worked, and
Hey, Jason.
went to wire up another one, and it wouldn't work. It kept on like it was shorting out. Same value resistors and whatnot. I've opened up a new pack,
Hey, Pappy.
and the resistors were actually 900k, so it was actually
Andy, man, sir. How much,
blacking
man?
everything out. And then as soon as I went to go and test it all out, somehow my switch it failed.
Oh, really?
So I've got to get another switch it. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. I forgot about this show, and as I was going to do the woodwork for the switch system. But now what I'm doing is I'm pre-soldering, pre-wiring the
Little lighters.
for the signaling.
I think it was Jason who was telling me you use some other kind of thing. Don't you have something else you use?
There is the other ones, but they're in the US. So these are the ones that I got from down here.
Yeah.
And I've got to solder them up. They work the same way, but these are the older ones.
Let's see if I can find
G'day,
it.
Roy.
It's those railroad circuits. SHD2 dual heads.
Yeah, I reckon Heath was in amongst my electronic gear because my resistors are all over the place yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the new ones, Heath, they actually got the new ones that are a little bit bigger, right? You still got to solder your wires on, but yeah, feeder wires, you actually got screw points. Hey, Jason. So while you're live streaming, I might as well do some soldering.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was messing with today. Kind of.
Well, I've got the, I don't know if I showed you last week, but I've got the, sorry about the light, I've got the one panel here for the new section.
What'd you make that out of? Looks nice.
It's just plastic.
Oh, plastic?
Yeah, it's a plastic styrene. What is it? It's about 3 mil thick. So all I did was tape it up and happy. Hey, behave yourself. I know where you live. Well, the girls know where you live anyway.
What do you say?
Hey, he says it's not Thursday. Well, it's Wednesday here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Jason.
Yeah, so this is the one I'm doing for the next stage for the back to basics. The part 4 I'll have it for the weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's getting together, and then I've also got I haven't taken the tape off, but I've got the big one here ready to go.
Nice.
I still want to take the tape off this bottom section here, but I'm going to do that as a tutorial how I do it. So I'll get that done in the next couple of days. I'm just getting all the wiring and that, and the LEDs all wired up. So got a whole heap of them yesterday. And the proper size resistors. Yeah, took it to the shop and I showed him what the packet says and what the band say. There's two totally different things. And I was just scratching my head. It's like, what's going on here? These LEDs can't be all wrong. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Andy. Good to see you in here, though, man. We've had a couple of nice updates on the layout on your layout as well. Making some progress there. There's a good channel there if you guys haven't checked out Andy. The Andy Mano. Conrail guy for Sparky. The Conrail guys. Let's see if this is gonna. I'll get this to work right or not. Maybe.
So what else has everyone been up to?
I haven't been doing a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Well, I got that. I picked up that lifelike. Oh. I picked up this lifelike stock pen to put in my news section, but I'm finding that it too is about nearly 2 inches too wide. It's going to go on the road, so I've got to seriously do some kit bashing. I've got another kit coming around. It would have arrived today, but Australia Post sent it right down the far south coast, so I'm not going to receive it today. But yeah, I'm going to have to do some kit bashing on that. I've also, with my, where is it? With my wooden kits, I'm going to be putting lights in them.
Your kits?
Yeah, those wooden kits are going to put lights in them.
Okay.
I was wondering how I was going to do it. So I found these plugs we use on the stereos and that, you know.
Oh.
That's the female and that's the male. I'm going to have one in the board, another one on the building, so I can actually just remove the building and put the other one, just swap them over, and all the wiring is going to be the same. So if I want to swap out a scene, I'll be able to do it nice and easily.
Makes sense.
It's a system that an old guy did at the club with the signals. Like he actually had plugs like this, where on the signals where he used to be able to plug it into the board and take them out so they didn't get damaged. Yeah, so apart from that, it's been fun and games anyway. Trying to get everything done. Yeah, trying to get everything done, and time's ticking. So this week's been full on, and it gets hard when you're watching shows like what's his name, Heath, when he's doing his shows. I mean, he takes 2 hours to unpack a box. Seems to hold the progress of work up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To me, connectors.
All right,
Yeah, well, if you have a look at my unboxing on my live stream on Saturday, it only took me about 5-10 minutes. I got a.
Hey, Dwayne.
I got this dummy. It's not sitting properly. I bought this dummy on eBay, and I didn't put it in right. And it says it's a dummy, this Union Pacific one. And I was wondering, I put it on the track, I had it running around, and had this peculiar smell coming on the layout.
That's never good when you have that.
No, and I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, I put my hand on it, and it was hot. So I pulled it apart and have a look what's going on. Well, I found out what was going on, all right. It's, I'll pull it apart. It actually had an electrical uncoupler in it.
And the wrong
And of course, when you're running on DCC, I haven't told it from the guy that I got it off. I just take it apart. Yeah, that was what was making it hot.
What was it?
I'll show you in a minute. Just take it out. It's an old system where they used to
I get that to work.
they have this gizmo inside for doing the uncoupling on the one side.
Huh. I've never seen anything like that.
No. Well, I've seen them in books, but I'm like, yeah, that's what was getting hot. So it's disconnected now, so I won't have that issue anymore. Hopefully. Okay.
All right, thanks, Pappy. Pappy got a mug. I was told I'm not allowed to buy anything off that site. That I have to wait for Santa Claus. So apparently, I won't be able to get any On-Track Tuesday stuff until Christmas. I have to wait and see.
Well,
so who knows?
That bastard's not going to show up this year. He comes to my place first, so if he doesn't bring what I want, he ain't going to make it over there.
Yeah. I hear that. A lot of wants.
Hey?
I have a lot of wants.
Oh, not want much. You just be flailing.
Casey says it's wrong color locomotive. You need red and orange.
Well, I know it's the wrong colour, but it's to go with my big boy. I've got the
Yeah.
I've got the A unit, and I'm going to put the B unit on it, and it's going to run with the big boy tourist train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if it was up to me, it'd be
cool.
if it was up to me, it'd be painted up in B&O colours, or actually, it'd be painted up in the seaboard colours in the orange blossom special colours.
So I got back to what we were talking about before. I just unplugged my power cab cord and plugged that in. So I got this thing. So this is what I've been working on like all day. Messing around with it to get it to work. I still got to get the LEDs wired up, but I just the power on the Tortoise,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same size barrel plug. You can see I have the lights are all on. And then when I throw my switch, it actually works. So, damn, I love when a plan comes together. Especially when you mess with it all day long and then you're not sure, And
well, it's good that you got it's good that you got a little section like that. You can actually experiment with it.
Yeah, and I'll put this like on a hinge or something, and I'll put it on the back side against the wall or something on the back framework of the layout so I can flip it up. Or actually, I might put it on the front side so I can flip it out and then back under, I did that with my board over there for the AIU01, and it's working out pretty good. So that's pretty cool. For like my
what I'm doing is
stuff.
Well, what I'm going to be doing is I'm installing these. I'm installing the spring-loaded ones where the center is off.
Yeah.
You flick it to activate it, and it just throws over to the other side. So this is what I'm doing with mine.
Yeah. No, I didn't get those ones. I just got the on.
Yeah.
And these are more these are the, I guess it's, correct me if I'm wrong, single throw, double pull, single throw. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always get those damn things wrong. But it just has the 3 prongs on the back.
Yeah, same as this one.
Because I guess it's more like a button, like when I use those buttons.
Yeah, well, this one, instead of having a button, you just actually flick it. I just want nice and easy. I was going to go the button system, but...
Dave, what'd you order, man?
Hey?
I got to know. Dave, BNSMC says, thanks, Roy Eltham. I just ordered a 10-pack. I don't know what that's of. But if it's something good, I want to know.
Yeah, we all want to know. You got to share it now. Come on.
10-pack of what? Going back through the stream there. I'm definitely gonna look at getting those barrel plugs because I want to be able to attach that right into my accessory bus line.
Yeah.
Let's see, Johnson just.
Yeah, I've got plenty of different style switches. And the only thing I have to work out on in the next couple of days, I've got the soldering iron on because I've got the camera and the laptop in a different position. I've got to work out the circuitry for my signals that I actually got, the Australian signals, because the wiring is actually different. And I'm going to have to experiment out here at the moment before I put it underneath to see if I can actually get the system to work.
Hey, Tom's Stranger Things. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, try to get the system to work out here before I actually put it underneath the layout. If not, I've got some basic signals coming in from China now. It should be here next week. Because with my LED signals, I've only got 3 wires and they're bipolar to get to activate the green and the yellow. So I've got to work out the circuitry on how it's going to fit on these lighters. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. I just got to go and wet my sponge.
All right. Plan using manual throws my yard 280. You know, TV camera. Oh, okay. Jason, that's that thing you were telling me about, right? That's that barrel plug? There it is. All right, cool. Thanks for posting that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me some of those. I'll leave that up if you guys want to write it down so I can. Actually, I'm gonna write it down
Yeah.
somewhere.
Might have, I might be able to solder a lot more if I turn my soldering iron on. What do you think?
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys, I know this isn't the most exciting, but I'm gonna write this down. All right, maybe that'll work.
Yeah. When I look at the prices on Amazon here, and to my electronic shop, I'm better off just going to my electronic shop. You know?
Tom, I haven't dabbled in the Arduino. All right, see you, Jason. I don't know why I'm kind of freaked out by that. Not freaked out, but it seems like it's over my head. But I know I've been talking with Jim Tedesco. I know you kind of walked him through some stuff, and Jim says it's really pretty easy. So maybe someday I will dabble in it. It seems like there's so much you can do with it, and it seems, like I could probably be doing things a lot easier, maybe even less expensive in some ways, if I just figured out how to make that work for myself. That's the Arduino and all that. So I know you got a ton of videos on them, Tom. So I have to go back and watch them.
I got 2 here. Two startup kits here. They were on special. G'day, Sparky.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, Sparky.
I got 2 here. And because I'm not used to the Arduino, I thought, well, I'll just go back to basics, really, because I know I can put everything together using my basic electrical skills, electronic skills. I'll go back to basics, and then once everything's set, I'll start playing around with the Arduino, on certain things.
Yeah.
So
I'm all for stuff that'll be easier, especially if I think Jim started out with some type of like signaling for signaling gates and that.
Yeah.
Hook up with him with some stuff. He said he had some things that he could help me out with to get started in it. So, James Gilpin, how are you?
Hey, James.
Sparky, you back home yet, or are you still out there in the desert?
Isn't it funny that, since he's left, I think he's gone back home, but isn't it funny since they stopped going there, or as the trip's finished, the cameras come back on again. That seems a bit odd to me.
Say, what happens in Arizona stays in Arizona, I guess, huh? No, they did some shows, not shows, but they did some filming. They were doing some, talking about stuff.
Oh, it was great. It was great seeing Flagstaff again, though. But I really like to know what Sparky and the gang did with that steam engine that was there by the next to the track. It was a steam engine that could burst. So I really like to know what happened to that. It's no longer there. It's gone. So I wonder which one of them taken it.
They're ridiculous.
The fencing is still there.
Yeah.
The fencing and the track where it was sitting on is still there. But the engine and the caboose is all gone.
You made one video into a big grab bag. Is that what you mean, Sparky? Back. Bye, Andy. Talk to you later. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, bye, Andy. Yeah, I used to go around to Flagstaff a fair bit.
Yeah.
But
I haven't been out there since I was on the road, man. A lot of years back in the early 90s, I haven't been out that way. In fact, I think the wife and I are going to try to plan a trip next summer. Probably we're trying to shoot for like the end of June, early July.
Yeah.
To head west. We love Florida. We go to Florida a lot. We go to the Carolinas a lot, or enough. We haven't really gone out west. So I think we may shoot for. I've never seen the Grand Canyon. I'd love to go up there. I know Sparky and them guys did a trip up there when he was out the one year, and did some nice videos from there on the Grand Canyon Railroad. And I'd love to go do that. So I think I know my wife wants to see like Sedona, see the Red Rocks and stuff. And so we're gonna see what we can do. I know I have a nephew. My wife has a nephew. Lives in Texas. I think it's near. I want to say it's near Fort Worth. Don't quote me. I know it's a ways away from Arizona, but maybe we might stop there just to say hi. He's got a little daughter. He came up last year for Christmas. It was fun.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I've got a stepsister that lives. One of the stepsisters live in Sedona. So it'd be worth going down and have a look.
Yeah.
Their nephew did live there, but he got shot on duty there 5 years ago.
Oh, it is.
He was a deputy there at Flagstaff. Went to a domestic, and which would have been resolved nice and easily. He got actually shot. So yeah, it wasn't very pleasant.
No, I know.
Well, I'm just trying to think. What's that? There's a fort.
Where?
I think it's on the Texas side.
Fort Hood? That's the big one.
There's an old fort on the Texas side. Not far from there, where it's got like a hot springs or something in it.
I don't know. Maybe Robert would know something about that. I have no idea.
That was
Robert,
cool.
when I get through Texas, I'm gonna definitely try to meet up with you, man. My wife's gonna hate this trip. Not really. She won't hate it, but she's like, man, everything's about trains. I'm like, yeah. And
some of them might think it's a train show or something.
Jerry says the Alamo. Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, the Alamo. Yeah, I think so.
Tom's X lives in Texas. X is it's a good George Strait song.
I know there's.
I mean, the Alamo's famous for, you know.
Yeah, because not far from where the where the Apaches and the government forces had their last fight, basically. It was a nice little place. It spent about 2 days there before we went up to Flagstaff and what do you call it? Up in the Grand Canyon.
I can honestly say I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it could be the Alamo. I'll have to.
I mean, Alamo is down on the Rio Grande, I think, isn't it, in El Paso? That's right on there. That's on the Arizona border, I believe. El Paso, near there.
So. I'm just going to have to go back over there and have a look. I'm going to have to look for it again.
Well, you keep threatening that you're going to come over. I don't know when that's going to happen.
Well, we're permitted to leave the country as of mid next month. So, but I am.
Oh, it's San Antonio.
I'm going to be over there.
You're right, Anthony. I forgot my geography. Anthony's right. Alamo's in San Antonio. They're still down near the border, right? Like Mexico.
Yeah, it's actually not far from San Antonio. It's not far from there. Alamo is San Antonio. Yeah, it's not San Antonio. It's near San Antonio.
All right, Kyle.
But it was fun. I was in. My friend and I, we done a trip across the US. In '98, we drove across to Miami. We went across on Interstate 20.
Yeah.
And we returned on Interstate 10. We had this guy that we lost.
Well, 10 runs along the southern edge.
Yeah. We followed
Louisiana and all that.
Yeah. We followed the southern edge, and what we did was, well, he actually stopped at all the different forts. Hey, Kyle. We stopped at all the different forts along the way, you see. They're just something different. This was one of them. And actually, San Antonio, that's where I experienced my first tornado in the US.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's where we went hiding underneath the bridge. So
yeah.
Yeah, we had a great trip. I mean,
Texas is big.
Yeah, it is.
And France can fit inside Texas. Many moons ago, when I took French, they said that France was the size of Texas, or it can fit inside of Texas.
Yeah.
I know it's like 800 or 900 miles from, one corner to the next. Like I remember coming in on 10 down on the southern border. I want to say El Paso, down in that bottom corner. We ran all the way across up to Dallas, Fort Worth, and then to Texarkana down over that way.
Yeah.
Now we're going back to 92-ish. So I don't know. Don't quote me on all the directions, but I mean it was a long trip.
Oh, we enjoyed it. I mean, we stayed longer than what we wanted to. Than what we intended to, should I say. Not than we wanted to. And we got to a point where our visas was about to expire.
Well, let's see, back to the button board here. I don't like the button board because it doesn't work with Jammer. That's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
This I'm going to strictly use for, if I'm thinking right, I think I can do it this way. These I'm going to use for industries, yards, that kind of stuff. The main line I'm going to, I don't know what I'm using there, but I want the main lines to be run through JMRI, passing lines, stuff like that. I don't know, but this kind of stuff is what's really slowing me down, guys. It's kind of, you don't really have like a topic so much. It was kind of this. I've been working on this all day, so I thought I'd just bring this up to get ideas, see if I'm even doing it right. But how do you? I'm having a hard time focusing on things. Like I really want to keep moving with track work, and I just haven't. I am. Oh, Randall's in there. Hey, Randall.
Hey, what's happening?
But,
Oh boy.
not much, buddy. I was just saying, it's like I'm having a hard time, like, getting motivated to move on. And then, but this stuff is hurting my brain. What brain is left and is hurting it because I'm trying to learn it and understand it, and I'm trying to do it as I go forward. So there's part of me that wants to keep moving with track work. The other part of me kind of doesn't, because I just feel like it's going to be overwhelming for me to go back and do all these things once I get the track up. So in my mind, it seemed like it'd be better to kind of move forward with everything as I go. But it's really slowing me down, and I'm really having a hard time, like, continuing. Not so much continuing, but just getting my keeping my motivation up. Let's see. All right, Robert. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Yeah, I haven't
don't
had a
know
lot
if
of
you
time.
get it. Yeah, go ahead, Randall.
I was just going to say I haven't had a lot of time messing with my trains, working quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
Did 14 hours in the yard last night. So
Wow.
a lot of trains out there, but no oddball locomotives last night. So, well, I take that back. We did have some visitors from CSX.
Oh yeah.
Had a train come in with a string of freshly rebuilt CSX AC-44 M's
Really?
come
I'm sure
through.
you had
So,
some pictures of that. Jeez.
yeah, unfortunately, I was getting ready to take a crew. Let's see. I can't remember where I was taking them to now because I had 21 runs last night, but I was actually getting ready to take a crew when they rolled through. So I never got a chance to really get a picture of it.
The crew can wait, Randall. The train's more important.
Yeah.
You can always say it's the money shot.
Well, not when the crew that actually runs the trains has to get on them already. They may not like that too good.
Just tell me you're going to share the proceeds when you win the grand prize.
Yeah.
That fake grand prize, the $1 million fake prize.
Trying to understand this. This is a block detection device. I have using those BD20s for the mainline detection because I want to use JMRI for that. And resistor senses resistance. Push the button. I don't know.
Well, the guy that I normally get my help and assistance with for the NCE stuff, he's been going walkabouts a fair bit lately, so he's not in his store as much as what he used to be. It's his wife, and his wife only gives me half the information. So she ends up getting me to buy things that I didn't really want in the first place. So
Rick, would the mini panel be better then to run that instead of these button boards? Or am I just misunderstanding what you're saying? I mean, because I really don't understand what a mini panel does. I know you have a video on it. I watched it. I still don't understand what the hell it does.
the mini panel.
What's the need for it? Like what?
Well, what I actually found is, which I'll show later when on my big thing is say you got your one location, right? Example, where you're sitting now, there, Dave, and you want to operate all your switches. You got your, like what I'm doing, a big switchboard, right? You can actually put the mini panel underneath and program your turnouts onto that mini panel, onto switches that goes up onto the actual board.
Okay.
right? And
Then you
instead
just
of
use
instead of dragging
your
wires
controller.
like what I did underneath my layout, you only have to wire it up in that small section. Now that I worked out what's going on, the mini panel I got on my board, I can remove it, and that big switchboard that I showed you, it's actually going to be mounted up behind it,
Hmm.
and it will save a lot of wiring. The mini panel basically replaces replaces this. It just replaces this.
So what do you use, the computer then instead of that?
You just use the mini panel.
Then what do you hook the mini panel to?
Yeah, it hooks up to this.
Toggles or what?
You daisy chains. You daisy chain it with the plug underneath. It all links in together.
But you don't need your controller, your Pro Cab.
You won't need it. Well, you do to drive your trains, but when you program your switches,
Mhm.
for example, you don't have to go looking for what accessory and whatnot is there. You just flick your switch. So, like you got that switch 8 there, right?
Yeah.
That programs your turnouts, right? You can actually use the mini panel, wiring to the mini panel to do say you've got a big yard, you can actually use the mini panel instead of dragging all the wires up. And then you also use the mini panel to do automation as well. I'm slowly getting my head around it too. It's been, what do you call it? The options that you got with the mini panel, it just does your head in. So I'm simply starting from the basics and working my way up from that. But Rick's tutorial, what you can do with is good. It's probably dropped out. Hey, Caboose.
Yeah, I didn't get the link. I don't know where are you sending it to? My email?
What is that he said?
I don't know. It's just trying to wrap my head around it all. I mean,
Yeah,
it's interesting, and I like
Rick
it.
just said to send him the link.
Yeah, I don't know where you're sending it to.
See, I originally got the mini panel to operate my daughter switches, like what your Switch 80 is doing there. Because when I bought it, the lady at the shop says, "Oh yeah, no, you can use that for what's his name, to flip the switches, like to operate your turnout for your tortoise motors." And I can hook my block detectors on it. So I bought it. But when I couldn't get anything to go on it, I'm like, I wasted my money on it. And it wasn't cheap. Like I was spending, it cost me $130 for it here. $130, $140.
Well,
So I was about to send it back. And then I came across Rick Bailey's channel. It's like, oh, this is what I can do with it. But I need a Switch 8.
yeah.
To actually give the tortoise switch an address. So I did that. I did try to connect my BD20s to it, but that failed. That's why it's in the spot where it is, because I was hoping to put hook the BD20s to it. But that was a total failure. So But when I see what I can do with the switching,
Oh, hang on. Let's bring Rick up.
yeah.
Hey, Rick.
Oh.
Hey.
Sorry,
You guys
man.
hear me all right?
Hey, before you do anything, did you feed your worker yet, or what?
Yeah, I let him go for the night.
What did you feed?
John,
Oh,
guy who
John.
works with me. Yeah, I let him go for the night.
Guy lives in your training room? You know, throw him a little supper once in a while.
Yeah,
No,
you know,
sorry. No, you know, ask the train freak. I drive that guy crazy because it's like beating my head, beating against a brick wall sometimes to get things through my head and get me to understand stuff. But I want to understand it because I want to do it.
So the mini panel,
Yes.
panel and the button board. These things drove me crazy for a while. So my understanding is, and from what I've tested and talked with the NCE guys, if you're not going to do anything with the switches that you're hooking up in JMRI, then use the button board. Just remember that the button board talks to the switch 8 and nothing else. So it is a direct connection between your toggle switches and your switch 8. The problem is your NCE system is not seeing those commands. So when you push that button, the switch 8 is just going back, or I'm sorry, the button board is just going back to your switch 8 and it's saying, throw whatever's on switch number 2. It's not telling it to throw an address. It's looking at port numbers and it's saying, okay, the button for number 2 was just pressed and throw that.
Okay.
When you hook it up when you hook it up through a mini panel, the mini panel basically is a throttle. You give it a cab number. You have to set it up as a throttle, and you're basically programming buttons to do exactly what you would do on your NCE throttle. So when you hook up a button to port 1 and you push that button, instead of that button saying, okay, throw the switch that's on port 1, it's actually going through the system and saying, throw accessory 101 to the normal position. And because that information is going over your cab bus, it's talking to your NCE system, and JMRI can read it. And that's the difference. So when you go into JMRI and you program one of your switches, and I forget the mode that it has to be in, but there's a drop down box where you have to enable monitoring. So if you go into JMRI and you set up one of your switches and you put it into monitor mode, JMRI is constantly looking for an update on that switch to find out what position it's in. So it's actually going back to your command station and it's constantly going, where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? And then every time you switch it using a mini panel, that information is changed on the command station. So the next time JMRI goes, where's it at? It's going to see that it's switched. And then up on your screen, you're going to see the turnout change. None of that happens when you use the button board.
So let me ask you this. With the mini panel, can I still use toggles or no?
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to be working a yard and just hit toggles instead of using the controller.
Yes, that's how mine is set up. So the mini panel sits underneath of your workbench or your layout, and you hook your buttons directly to that. And then prior to that, what you would do is, I believe it's been a while since I played with mine. Artie, do you remember how many ports are on the mini panel?
What is it? 30?
I think it's 30.
I was going to say, why is there 14?
I think it's about 31, 32, something like that.
Yeah, something
14.
like that. So,
Okay.
so each one has 2 ports per toggle. So you're gonna plug both ends of your toggle in. All you're basically doing is connecting a port to a ground and just making it a closed connection. and then that's
Right.
triggering a command in the mini panel to run some type of command that you would normally do on your throttle. So the
I'll
same
just show you.
way,
So then,
I'm just going to see my panel here.
right?
So this here, how I've got the buttons here. These are all for my switches,
Right.
right? And that all goes into the mini panel.
Yes.
yeah,
These red ones here, they're like a ladder. It actually doesn't operate just one switch. It actually operates multiple switches. So when I press this one here, it sets a track from here and right through.
oh, okay.
You
Right.
can have
So
it.
if I want to try to come from here into here, I'll just press that button and that goes into the mini panel and it says, right, throw this one to closed, throw this one to open, throw this one to open, and it creates a ladder. Or if I want to go to this one, I press that one and it actually creates a path into here.
Right. And you program that all on the throttle into the mini panel. Can I use the mini panel with? I have no idea. I don't. I'm gonna say no.
Is that a Digitrax thing?
That's the Digikais. I don't
Don't
know.
think it can. I don't think it
You would-
can.
I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. Does the Digikai system recognize the NCE language? Like, can you use an NCE throttle on your, was that a DR4000? Yeah, DR5000.
I'll put it back up. I'll find it.
If you can use that throttle, then you can use the mini panel because it's basically the same thing. The mini panel is nothing more than a throttle without buttons, without a display. You can throw almost any command from a mini panel that you would normally do on a regular NCE throttle.
So let me go back and ask you this. So is this switch 8? If I'm going to use the mini panels, do I need to switch 8s or no?
Yes. Yes. So
Still
the
running
only
the
thing,
switches into that.
right. So your switches will all go into the switch 8. And the only thing the switch 8 does, it's an accessory decoder. It allows you to give your tortoises accessory addresses.
So does
the
the
mini
switch 8 have
panel-
an address too?
What's
Do you
that?
address the switch 8s? Do you address that as well? Just the things.
No,
Turn
the
up.
switch 8s haven't got their particular address. The switch 8s only allows you to do the address for that actual switch. For example, you want to program turn at number 1, number 2, the first 8. You program the first 8 in that mini panel, in that switch 8 there.
Does that switch
And
8
then when
connect
if you
into-
want to add another 8, you go from 8 to 16 on the mini panel. That gives you the address code, the address number to that switch.
Right.
If that sounds right, understandable, Rick.
I
That's what you
understand
need.
what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what your switch 8. That's what your switch 8 does.
Right.
Now, does the switch 8 connect into the mini panel?
Not directly.
No,
I know it plugs into, well, no, I mean, no.
your switch 8 connects to your switch 8 connects to your bus.
Right. And the mini
The
panel
bus.
connects to the bus.
The mini panel.
Okay. With the 2-track,
Now the mini panel goes through the actual command. What we would call the connects the mini panel connects to this in the
mini
daisy
panel
chain
connects to that. Yes. The switch 8 connects to
to the bus.
2 wires on your actual bus bar.
yeah, okay.
1 cab bus
Okay.
connection and 2 wires for each push button or other input device. Yes.
Okay, where's my green light on? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so it took me a while to get my head around it too, but eventually I got it figured out. And now when I'm looking at it, because I was told that the mini panel can detect the BD20s, and I went through the programming and everything else, and I could not get it to detect the BD20. So I got that AIU01s instead.
So one of those. I have to get more of those.
Yeah. So I actually took the wiring from, because that's where it is at the moment. I've taken wires from there into where my distribution board's going to be on my switchboard. But now I can remove the mini panel from there and put it behind my switch box that I'm going to make. I can actually put my mini panels up behind there and run my toggle switches off it.
Right.
And I don't have to feed that many wires through the layout. Now all I've got to do is, the only wires I need to feed now is the lights for my block detectors, the lights to show up on my panel. Those are the only wires I have to bring in, or I've got some manual light switches that I'm going to do. I need to feed that wire underneath. So underneath my layout, half those wires are going to be coming out now.
Yes.
Because I don't know that mini panel where it is. So everything's just going to be focused on one spot.
So that's going to actually start wiring these things up. It's going to make more sense. Like as I'm doing it. I mean, it's making sense what you're saying. So I'm going to pick up a mini panel for sure because I do want it to read, but I do still want to be able to. I went this way because for some reason I was under the impression that I couldn't use toggles unless I use this button board.
No,
damn it,
that's not true.
Damn it, I'm buying things I don't need. That's the aggravating part.
I did the same thing. As a matter of fact, I think I sold mine off to Jason because Jason was using one in a yard that he was not including in JMRI. So that's what he needed his switches for, or his button board for. So he wanted the ability to still switch. So complicated to throw a turnout. It just depends on how you want it to appear. That's all.
Well, it sounds complicated to start, but really, when you look at it, it's actually, the thing is, the brain needs to work. But when you look at it, it's actually quite simple. It's a pretty simple setup and pretty easy process. I mean, you don't have to worry about. Now, like with the Arduino, I mean, the Arduinos are good, what they can do. But if you don't, but you've got to know the computer language for it. You've got to learn the computer language for it to get the functions to work.
The reason that NCE made the mini panel was so that you could do multiple things with one push button. So, like I believe Artie was saying earlier, when he pushes a button, just like my panel, my yard is it's set up. There's 6 tracks. It all comes in on one line and then it splits off, I guess, like an arrowhead like that. So I can take the ladder in either direction because it's a reversing loop. So when I'm coming down a ladder, if I want to go to the far track, I push one button and 3 turnouts turn because it's programmed that way. You can't do that with a button board. With a button board,
I want to be able to do that.
Buttons. Now
but you could do that with toggles or with the controller, with the mini panel.
Yes. With the mini panel, that's the way you would do it. You would program that into the mini panel so that when an input is triggered, it does these 3 steps, and it just so happens that those 3 steps are throwing 3 turnouts.
Yeah.
So that was the original purpose of the mini panel. It just so happens that because the mini panel talks across the cab bus, JMRI will see it. If you actually call NCE and ask them about it, they will tell you that they cannot confirm that the mini panel works with JMRI.
Really?
Yes, it was never intended to do that, but it works. And I think the guys at JMRI actually figured out how to do that.
Yeah. I don't know, Jim. Jim says with automation, you just sit and watch trains go round and around in a circle. Where's the fun in that? I don't know that that's true.
I mean,
I mean, you can run your trains through JMRI, right?
Oh, sure,
You-
absolutely.
If you look at
Oh, yeah.
who's Fred? Fred, he does all that stuff. He programs the train to stop here, so many seconds, and go to the next stop. Like
Yep.
Write scripts, whatever he calls it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you can do
I have
that.
no idea
You
how
can
to
do
do that,
that.
but I mean that kind of stuff is cool. I just
You
don't know
can
how
do
to
that
do it.
with
I'm trying to
any
learn.
panel too.
But I don't know. Like kind of like what you were saying about Jason. Part of me is fine with just running it through the button board. I mean, I'm gonna throw toggles for the yards and stuff. But I may want to do that for some yards, but then there's other times I might want to do it, through like I'm going to do basically a staging yard on the upper level. So I kind of think I want the staging yard to be, in JMRI, so I know what's up there and what's going to be moving, So something like that, I think I'd want to go through the mini panel over the switch 8 or over the button board type scenario. I don't know. I already have this. I'm going to use this probably by my co-op that I've been working on since I already have it already. And then maybe I'll go with the mini panel going forward, and see how that works.
And you can always put that in now and upgrade it later because you'll use the same wires coming from the switches. So you're instead of routing it to the button board, you'll route the switches over to a mini panel. So the upgrade, is not hard.
Yeah, that is true. But that's another reason why I wanted to get into DCC, because there's so many cool things like this you can do. I mean, when I decided a few years back to get back into mono railroading, I really thought hard about just going with a DC layout, which that always confused me, throwing blocks and stuff. Not confused me, but I was always like, I'm not coordinated. I couldn't get this block to throw fast enough, and which block am I throwing again? I'd get confused. It's not hard to do to confuse me. But then I'm like, well, if I'm going to go DCC, eventually I'm going to want to go DCC. I want to do signaling, and then this MRI stuff, and little by little, I'm trying to get a little more advanced with this new layout as I'm building, and I'm trying to put into things and put things in place now. So even if I want to go later and do something else, it's there. I don't have to go crazy trying to figure out, okay, this wire's for what again? Even if you label it, you still got to track everything back and figure it all out. And I don't know. That's my mindset, anyways.
The simple way to do it would be to just wire your you can wire your switches on a panel, on a piece of whatever 1/4-inch plywood or whatever, and just wire them directly to your tortoises and just have it run off of a 12-volt DC power pack, and you could do it that way. The only reason that you would add the switch 8 is if you wanted the ability to take your throttle and change a turnout. I mean, that's it's the only reason for the switch 8 is to give your tortoise an address. That's it.
Okay.
And on top of that would be the automation part of adding the mini panel so that you can do multiple things and have it monitored in JMRI. So one thing compounds on top of another.
I'm trying to add in LEDs and stuff because I'm doing a panel. This is the one I set up for over by the co-op, and all the different colors. Cool. These are going to be like bicolored. Awesome. I got this off of what's his name, Larry Bucket, the DCC guy. Yep. Kind of sort of basing it off of what he was doing. But I want to be able to flip a switch, and then I got the bicolors, and I want that to light up on the panel. Which direction is going. That's not so much like a signal in the yard itself. Maybe some dwarf signals. Maybe something bad to have there.
Just check your resistor packets to make sure that they're all the right resistors in the packet.
So your LEDs have nothing to do with any of the electronics. Your LEDs run off of these switches that are on your tortoise. So those extra tabs 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and 7. So that's where your LEDs will run from. So they have nothing to do with electronics. They have nothing to do with your switch 8. They have nothing to do with your with your mini panel. So you're basically when you throw a tortoise switch, that internal mechanism will change those pads, those solder pads, to say which one of your LEDs is going to be lit up. So we'll just run your power or your negative into that common tab on your tortoise, which I think is either 4 or 5, and then your positive or negative line. I think it'll actually be your positive line because your negative is your middle pin. So yes, there we go. Already's got it. So you're right. Do that again.
You want it back? Oh, sorry.
There you go.
There you go.
So your positive line will run into either 4 or 5, and then your negative line will run into either 2 or 3 from the 3-pin LED. So your 2 outside ones will go into 2 or 3. Your power will go into 4, and your negative will go directly back to your power source.
All right. So on these 3-prong LEDs, where do the resistors go?
I put mine on the middle pin, but it all depends. So I only added 1 resistor and I put it on the negative pin, which is in the middle. And the problem that I had is, or I still have because I haven't changed it, is my red is very, very dim and my green is very, very bright. So if I wanted to change those to be somewhere around the same lumen, I would have to take the resistor off and put them on either leg. So that this way I can.
You can't do it on either leg then, okay? Because that's what I did on. Okay.
You can do it on either leg.
Yeah.
So if you do it, this way it stays the same.
If you do it on the middle, you only need 1. If you want to do it on either side of the outside ones, then you'll need 1 for each light, either green or red.
Okay, so you need 2 if you do that. Green and red, okay.
Right.
Makes sense.
And that all depends on brightness. Like I said, I use 1, and the trouble with mine is the red is dimmer than the green. So if I wanted to change it, I would use a higher resistor on the green to dumb it down so that my red and my green kind of shine the right way. Because honestly, right now, when my greens come up, I can barely look at the board. It's so bright.
So what I've done with mine is I'm using these ones here, which I showed you the other day with the 3 prongs, right?
Yeah.
That one there goes into, say, a continuous wire, right? And I've got the resistor on that. That's my negative or positive, whatever way you want to call it. Now, these ones here, right, these 2 on the side, they come off my number 2 and 3 on my tortoise switch.
Yeah.
Right? Because my other power wire comes in through number 4, and when it switches over, one side it ends up turning it into red. When I switch it, the other side turns into green.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And this is the easy. This is the basic, what they call it, old school wiring. The old school wiring, basic wiring, really. And I used a 360K resistor, and I put it on my 14-volt bus on my NCE, and it works fine. Those LEDs. I didn't have to convert it down to DC. Works fine, hasn't blown or anything. It doesn't, and it's reasonably bright. So That's the way I'll go. So you need to put the resistor on the longer leg in the middle. That's where you got to put the resistor.
Right.
Okay.
Tom said it best. He's got all the verbiage right.
What's that?
I said Tom said it best. He's got all the verbiage there right. I was
Yeah.
fumbling over words.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
No,
So
I knew what you're trying to say, though.
Yeah. That's the easiest. I think that's the easiest way, and that's basically it's back to basics, really.
Yep.
Basically electrics. But when you get a 1,000K resistor in a pack of 360, it just won't work. Everything just goes dead. I spent 2.5, 3 hours trying to work out why it's not that good working.
Oh boy. Long legs are common.
Yeah. Common. Yeah.
Yeah, see, these are, I have these in the bicolor, red and green. Just a bicolor, and then get like the tri or whatever, multiple colors.
See, I've got-
Yeah, if you get yourself a like a 3-volt button battery, you can just put it on that middle pin and the outside pin, and it'll tell you which one's positive or negative. One's going to light and one won't.
Thanks for reminding me, Rick. I've got to get to the post office this afternoon.
What's that?
Oh, just so I can send. I've got something to send out to Dave. I've got to get it in the mail today, so it's in the mail today, Dave.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Not the brightest bulb in the box. Yeah, I say that all the time. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, the brightest bulb in the box.
Because I got him this LED tester.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
That is a handy little tool. It's already got its resistors inside. It's a 9-volt battery. And when I was going to my LEDs the other night and they're not working and retest it, like I tested my LED before I soldered it, tried on this, it worked. When I put it on the system, it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting it. I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, I'm going to get going too. It's already after 8.
Yeah, I got to get.
I mean, it wasn't the best content show, but this kind of stuff, I think is helpful. So thanks for popping in, Rick. Thanks, Artie. For
Rick.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Grab my email off my about page and shoot me any questions you have.
Okay.
That email address also links to Google Chat, so hit me up there whenever if you need to.
Okay.
I'm around, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's I really want to learn this stuff. I am learning. It just I'm a little
Sparky, I'm still waiting for that one item for yours, mate, and yours is on its way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, hopefully guys got some information out of it too, not just me.
Yeah.
And that's that's why a lot of times, even though like I know already we've talked about some of this stuff a little bit anyways, but bringing it up again, sometimes it helps me, but also maybe some other people in the chat didn't hear it on other shows or other things. And I think this is kind of the cool part of DCC. I love all the bells and whistles on the locomotives and that, but it's all the little intricate things you can do to make it that much more realistic and prototypical and just fun in general. Once you get by the aggravating part, it's fun. Once you learn the aggravation.
And that sounds like a good idea, Sparky. I'll hit you up for that one too.
All right, guys. I will catch you later.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, I've got to go. I've got to get a physio soon anyway. So
yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna cut out of here, and I gotta go to bed here shortly. I gotta work in the morning. So, anyways, I do appreciate everybody stopping in. Thank you so much.
Catch you in the morning. Catch you on Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday, 8:30 Eastern time.
Should have switchboard finished by then.
Tyranny morning brew.
Yeah.
And then Sparky tomorrow night, maybe 7:00. And then next week, I think we're back to Wilmer again. Wow, man, these months are just flying by. Anyways, I see any other shows. I know there's other shows. Sunday night, you got, I don't know who's doing it this week, if it's Rick. this coming week, I think is.
No, it's
Jason?
Ray. No, Ray Boble's going to do the Halloween one for Sidetrack Sunday this week.
How's it, Ray? Okay.
Yeah,
You got
he's going to be
Sidetrack
doing that.
Sunday? That's always good. Always a nice show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, okay. Smuggy's got his Wednesday night live
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. And then,
That's Thursday morning here. I'm not going to get any work done.
I know that's kind of part of the problem. When I do have time, and it's, you know.
Oh, I've done a fair bit.
I try to pop in, or I try to just keep it in the background while I'm doing stuff, and nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll catch you.
All right, guys.
Thanks for
Talk to
stopping
you
in.
later. I'm gone.
Good night, guys.